Konnichiwa!
G'day and welcome! In this video, we're going to talk 2020. Yes, 2020. This crazy year that has impacted just about every single person on this planet in some way or another. Some much more than others.
We're going to talk about the impact that 2020 had on us. And we're also gonna talk about the impact that 2020 had on other overlanders.
Firstly, let's back up 9 months to when all of this began. We were nearing the end of an incredible 3 months in Korea. The global situation was beginning to take a rapid turn for the worse. We made the decision to bring forward our ferry to Japan in case the ferry line was suspended, which it turns out was a very good decision because not long after we arrived in Japan, the borders closed and the ferry line was suspended.
During our first couple of months in Japan, we received an overwhelming amount of messages and emails regarding our safety. Also asking why we're not talking about what's going on in the world, why are we silent? This silence was absolutely intentional.
We figured that you were probably hearing enough all day, every day about this global crisis on the mainstream media.
We didn't think it was necessary to talk about this situation in each video.
And instead, keep our videos about travel, nature, and bring you guys the beautiful country of Japan during these difficult times.
In any cases, it wouldn't feel right if we played on the whole pandemic thing in our videos.
Because in our honest opinion, Japan has been the absolute best country in the entire world to be stuck for the last 8 months.
We were regularly asked, why are we still traveling when the rest of the world is in lockdown? During the whole year, Japan never imposed any lockdown or restrictions.
We were completely free to travel throughout the entire country.
In saying that, we totally respected and followed the request of the Japanese government.
If you have been following us for a while, you'll remember that we stayed in a house for 4 weeks earlier this year, thanks to our very good friends Dan and Aya. This was when the Japanese government declared a 4-week state of emergency,
requesting the population to stay home when possible. When the state of emergency was lifted, we continued our journey. Alright, so how 2020 has impacted us and our journey? Our original plan was to stay in Japan for about 3 months and then return to Korea for then ship to Australia.
Obviously, with borders closing soon after our arrival, this was not to be. In late April, we made our first 3-month visa extension.
This was a pretty smooth process. I would say it took about 2 hours and we had a 3 months extension visa. At the same time, we were already trying to organize the logistics to ship to Australia. You all know that our attempt to go to Australia fell through and we couldn't go because of border closure and hard restriction. We couldn't also get a flight.
We made another visa extension in the Hokkaido city of Hakodate. This gave us until mid-November.
As lovely as our time has been in this beautiful country of Japan, we're starting to get itchy feet. We haven't told anyone, but a few months ago, we were just about to ship the car to Belgium and book flight to France.
With the situation in Europe rapidly deteriorating, we're pretty happy that we delayed that decision. For now, we remain patient and positive whilst continuing to monitor current events around the world.
We will continue to explore new areas of Japan, bringing you along with us. Now let's talk about what we could have done differently, the impact on other overlanders.
Earlier this year, when things started to get really serious, we had 2 options. Return to either Australia or France, leaving Grizzly and Bear behind, or stay with the vehicle.
For us, this was a no-brainer. We were never going to leave our vehicle. It's our home, and it wouldn't have mattered of what country we were in. As long as we were not forced to leave, we would have stayed.
We are not the only other international overlanders to commit to staying with their vehicle and embracing an extended period in a foreign country. You might remember our mates from France, Mel and Leah, who we met in Korea. Mel and Leah are currently in Laos with their van.
They had originally planned to leave their van in Southeast Asia, travel to Australia on working holiday visa before returning to their vehicle and continue the journey. Obviously, this was not to be, so Mel and Leah are now officially expat, both with full-time jobs in Laos.
Our very good amico, Ilario, the wild Italian riding a 50-year-old Vespa around the world, has spent the last 8 months loving his extended stay in Iran. Now, we fully understand that remaining with the vehicle was not a luxury that everybody had. We've heard some horror stories of overlanders in certain countries being forced, sometimes physically, to leave villages or towns, leaving the vehicle in storage in that particular country, or suspending their trip altogether and shipping the vehicle home. Others have had their entire trips delayed, or even had to cancel trips that have been years in the planning.
If we're having a bad day and feeling a little bit depressed, which we can assure you we do have those days,
we remind ourselves that throughout history, humans have faced challenging periods, and together, we've always pulled through. No matter how tough it gets, there's always someone doing it tougher. We'll face whatever's to come with an open mind and positive attitude. We count ourselves so very lucky to have our health, our happiness,
and each other. Thank you all so very much for checking out this video. That's it for now. See you next time. Bye bye.
Matane!